Welcome to the Armchair Verdict, and thank you for watching the video today. We're just a few days away from that highly anticipated rematch between Benjamin the Surgeon Whittaker and Liam Cameron. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my full prediction and how I think things are going to go down on Sunday night, so stay tuned. There's a lot of unanswered questions from that eventful first fight. Did Ben Whittaker throw himself over the ropes deliberately? Was Ben Whittaker really injured? And is Liam Cameron just too much for Ben Whittaker at this stage of his career? On Sunday night, a lot of those questions are going to be answered, and we're going to have a good idea to the answer of some of the other questions when it's all said and done. Now, making my prediction for this fight, I'm going to try and remain as open-minded as possible because there's a lot of things and a lot of moving parts to consider here. It isn't as cut and dry as some people are making out. Bear in mind, this is just going to be Ben Whittaker's 10th professional fight of his career. These early fights where a lot of professionals are used for learning, developing, improving, finding out about yourself. He wouldn't be the first prospect that's run into trouble or a few bumps in the road early in his career. I can give you numerous examples of guys, prospects, former Olympic medalists, former Olympians who came into the game with a lot of hype around them, who had some struggles early on. For instance, Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, early in his career, he had a controversial win against a journeyman called John McDermott. To this day, many people will swear to you that he was very fortunate that day to be given the win, and John McDermott probably should have been the rightful winner. Tyson Fury took the rematch, won the rematch, and went on to do great things in his career. Johnny Nelson is another example. Some of my younger viewers watching this video will probably only know Johnny Nelson as the guy on Sky Sports, and you won't remember his boxing career. But Johnny lost the first 3 fights of his professional career. He went on to be the longest reigning cruiserweight world champion of all time. That's a record that still stands to this day, I believe, as well. Bernard Hopkins, legend of boxing. He lost his professional debut, but then went on to be the longest reigning middleweight world champion of all time, and also the oldest boxing world champion of all time at 49 years of age. So the point I'm trying to make here is fighters may sometimes have adversity earlier on in their career. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're a hype job or they're no good. It's just a thing that happens sometimes. For me, I like to see how that fighter responds and bounces back from that adversity, which makes this very intriguing, this Ben Whittaker-Liam Cameron match. How is Ben Whittaker going to respond? Because for every Bernard Hopkins, Tyson Fury, or Johnny Nelson, there's also other prospects who had a lot of hype around them and were exposed as hype jobs and no good. One that comes to mind is Audley Harrison, the former British heavyweight. He was an Olympic gold medalist, a Commonwealth gold medalist as an amateur. When he turned pro, the guy just couldn't cut it. He couldn't translate those amateur skills into a professional great as many people expected him to be. Another one that comes to mind is the 2016 Olympic heavyweight gold medalist from France, Tony Yoka, beat Joe Joyce for the Olympic gold medal in that 2016 Olympic Games. As a professional, he's just not been able to cut it and get to that next level. So these things do happen. On Sunday night, we're going to get a good idea of if Ben Whittaker is Tony Yoka or Bernard Hopkins per se. And I'm really interested to see how it plays out. It's a tricky one for me. You look at it, Ben Whittaker. I think a big problem with this is earlier on in his career, he had a lot of easy touches. He was able to showboat, dance around, mess around with people, do what he wanted, have his way. This fight with Liam Cameron, the first one, it was in Saudi Arabia. It was on a big stage. He had a big audience. He wanted to put on a show. He wanted to make a statement, get his name out there. And I think since he's got this big following after he went viral, he probably feels extra pressure to put on a show and impress the crowds and get that viral moment, that highlight reel moment. I think he thought Liam Cameron was going to be another guy that he could dance around, showboat with, and put on a show against. By the time he realized that Liam Cameron wasn't that guy he could do that with, he was 3, 4 rounds in and he was in deep water and it was too late. What this fight reminded me of is a fight that David Haye had earlier in his career. For those of you who aren't familiar with David Haye, he was a British cruiserweight who was a unified a unified world cruiserweight champion, and also went on to be a heavyweight champion. His personality and demeanor reminds me of Ben Whittaker a little bit too. He was very brash, very outspoken, not short on confidence. Earlier in his career, he had a fight with a British cruiserweight called Carl Thompson, who was at the time considered maybe a bit old, a bit over the hill. In that fight, David Haye was expected to run through him and make a statement. Carl Thompson didn't get the memo. He put on a show against David Haye, broke him down, tired him out. David Haye ended up getting exhausted and stopped in the 5th or 6th round, I believe it was. The first Whittaker and Cameron fight felt like it was going in that same direction before the incident with the ropes happened. Ben Whittaker looked like he was slowing down. He looked like he was tiring. Liam Cameron was working the body well, breaking him. And I think Ben Whittaker may have got away with one that night. Why I think this fight is going to be a little bit different. Ben Whittaker won't underestimate Liam Cameron this time around. He's going to be fully prepared. He's going to know what he's up against. He's going to give himself every opportunity in training camp to make sure that he's in tip-top shape. Another thing which I think might be a key factor also is Ben Whittaker has hired Andy Lee as his new head coach. For those who don't know, Andy Lee was a solid professional, former middleweight world champion. As a trainer now, he currently trains Joseph Parker, who he's rebuilt into a major player in the heavyweight division. A couple of years ago, Joseph Parker looked like he was in a bit of a weird place. His career was in limbo. Andy Lee has turned that all around, and Joseph Parker is one of the top guys in the heavyweight division now. Ben Whittaker will be hoping Andy Lee can do the same thing with him. Andy Lee's a very intelligent man, very knowledgeable man, knows a lot about boxing. He's not going to leave any stone unturned. He knows how to structure a training camp for a big fight. He's going to make sure that Ben Whittaker's ready to go come fight night. And I think having Andy Lee in his corner, that experience, that knowledge, that boxing IQ is going to help Ben Whittaker a huge amount and may just be the difference. So my prediction for this fight, it is a tough one to call. I'm tempted to sit on the fence because I could see it going one of a few ways. I could easily see Liam Cameron using his experience, old man in Ben Whittaker a little bit, working the body, keeping the pressure on, making him work, breaking him down, getting him into deep water late in the fight and drowning him. However, I'm going to lean to Ben Whittaker winning this rematch. I don't say it with a huge amount of confidence, but I just feel like the addition of Andy Lee, Ben Whittaker learning from the first fight, I think he won't come into it as cocky and he won't overlook Liam Cameron in the same way that he did previously. So I can see Ben Whittaker coming out. There won't be any showboating. There won't be any messing around. He's going to get behind the jab. He's going to try and nick points, nick rounds, keep it long. He's going to try and keep it slow at a slow pace so he can reserve energy because he knows he's going to probably have to go the full 10 rounds for this fight. He's going to need every ounce of energy that he's got. All that showboating and wasting energy, we're not going to see any of that. Liam Cameron will have success. I think it's going to be very competitive. I can see Liam Cameron staying on him. He's going to continue to walk forward, walk him down, work the body, put in work, try and tire out Ben Whittaker, try and force a faster pace, try and drag him into a dogfight, make him uncomfortable. And it might prove successful. Liam Cameron could have his way by doing that. But I just think the experience of Andy Lee and I think Ben Whittaker's learning from the first fight with Liam Cameron, I think it's going to be just enough to see him through to edge a very competitive, close decision. It may even be a split decision rather than a unanimous, but I think Ben Whittaker's going to just edge it in this one. Full credit to Ben Whittaker for taking the rematch because I didn't even think he would, judging by how the first fight went and the way he disappeared from the public eye. I thought we wouldn't see this fight for maybe another couple of years. He'll probably have a few tune-ups and then maybe wait for Liam Cameron to be a bit over the hill and then revisit it. So massive credit for Ben Whittaker for taking the fight. But yeah, that's my final prediction. Ben Whittaker by decision. But people, what are you thinking about this one? Do you think I've got it wrong? Do you think we're going to see Ben Whittaker or do you think we're going to see Ben Grittaker? By grit, I mean, is he going to show grit? Is he going to show heart? Is he going to dig deep? Or are we going to see the Ben Whittaker that people have named him last time around? Who are you picking to win? Do you think Ben Whittaker is a prospect who's just got it wrong and he's going to be able to bounce back like David Hay did or Johnny Nelson? Or do you think he's a hype job like Audley Harrison? And do you think he's going to get exposed by Liam Cameron? People, sound off in the comment section. Let me know your predictions and who you think is going to win on Sunday night. Also, if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. But that's it from me. I'm going to give you a reaction video after the fight finishes on Sunday night. But until then, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.